This is a silicone drying mat for dishes, and it is advertised as 15 by 12, and that right there is exactly 12 inches. And this guy here is a little closer to 14 3/4, maybe 14 7/8, but it's just a little bit under 15 inches. So this is the black color. You can also purchase gray or dark gray. I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, it would cost you $13. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinions remain my own. All right, so out of the bag, there's a little bit of sand, it looks like. Yeah, there's a decent amount of sand right there. So I don't know if it was dropped on the floor before they put it in the bag or what from the factory. It looks brand new, except for just a little bits of sand on it. It has a lot of wavy lines, so dishes will have airflow go underneath them. There's a little lip around the edge. It's not super high, maybe 1.5, maybe 2 millimeters high. So if you get some liquid on here, it's not going to fall off unless you get a lot of liquid. Now, it does not have a drain spout that would go into a sink. I actually chose it because it does not have that, because I'm not planning on using this to drain into a sink. It does have a hanging hole, so you could theoretically hang this up vertically somewhere. So thickness-wise, it feels relatively thick. These wavy lines are actually indented in from the bottom, so they're kind of a little bit hollow on the back side. But you know, it's perfectly fine as a mat for drying dishes. I think it's pretty sturdy for that. It's not going to like rip or anything, and it'll hold its shape pretty well. All right, I washed it off with my sink sprayer, and all the sand is gone. You can see there's tiny, tiny little droplets of water on it, but most of the water just kind of flows off of it if you hold it vertically. So I selected this guy because it fits this particular shelf perfectly size-wise. And I keep various liquids up on here that might have drips or little spills, so that if anything comes down, it'll protect the shelf from it. It'll mostly catch it in this mat. You know, like this guy here had a little crack develop, and it didn't like dump the whole thing out, but it started to you know, leak out. And so obviously if you have, you know, a gallon of something here and the hole pops in and the whole thing flows out, it's going to overwhelm this little tray and start flowing over it. But if you just have a little leak or a little spill, it'll contain it within the silicone mat, and that silicone mat's a lot easier to clean up than my shelf. Partially because I can take it off the shelf and wash it elsewhere, but also because the silicone, you know, not much sticks to the silicone. It doesn't, you know, interact with it. It's not going to rust.